I told my husband to lose the entitled attitude and do shit for himself. We both work exhausting jobs, me at a crisis center and him at a warehouse. For 3 years, we split everything equally because we were both dead tired at the end of the day. Then 3 weeks ago, he got promoted to assistant manager and turned into a completely different person. He started demanding the house be silent on his days off. Our 4-year-old daughter Iris had to stay in her room because daddy needed peace and quiet. She came crying to me after he shooed her away when she wanted to show him a drawing. I let it slide, thinking he was adjusting to new responsibilities. Then he started ordering me around. I'd make Iris lunch and he'd immediately say, "Where's mine?" He made me grab his phone, his water, the remote that was 2 feet away from him. Every night he expected a 20-minute back rub. When I asked for one after a 12-hour shift, he laughed and said he was too tired from working. He decided what we ate for dinner every single night, regardless of what Iris or I wanted. Last week he made spicy curry that made our daughter cry, and when I suggested something else, he said he makes more money now so he gets to choose. He kept bringing up his paycheck and calling it his money, even though we'd had a joint account for 5 years. Last night around 11, I was in bed trying to relax after a shift where a patient tried to bite me. He walked in and said, "Babe, go make me some ice cream with chocolate drizzle and don't forget the cashews." Not asking, telling. I ignored him. He shook my leg and said, "Did you hear me?" I snapped. I said, "Yeah, I heard you and no. Go make it yourself. You were just in the kitchen. Your sense of fucking entitlement is way out of line. Do shit for yourself." He looked shocked and immediately said, "But I worked all fucking day. I lost it." I said, "Yeah, I did too. I worked 12 hours to your 8. Like I said, do shit for yourself." He went on about how I was making him feel unappreciated. I told him that's how he'd been making me and Iris feel for 3 weeks. He grabbed his pillow and slept on the couch. Next morning, he left at 6 without a word. I was home with Iris when my phone rang from an unknown number. A guy named Ron said he was my husband's warehouse manager and asked if my husband was feeling better since he'd called in sick. I said he left for work an hour ago. Long pause. Ron said, "I probably shouldn't tell you this, but your husband's been having issues at work." 2 months ago, my husband took home expensive scanner equipment without asking permission. He thought it was fine because other guys borrowed tools, but this was different. The company could have pressed charges, but Ron convinced them to just demote him and put him on probation. There was no promotion. My husband had been working 12 to 14-hour days unpaid, trying to prove himself so they wouldn't fire him. That's why he was exhausted. That's why he was weird about money. He was making less and terrified I'd see the pay stubs. Ron said he was calling because my husband looked really stressed, and he was worried about him. When my husband came home that night, I'd sent Iris to my mom's. I was sitting at the kitchen table. I looked at him and said, "Ron called today." His face went completely white. He froze with his work bag still on his shoulder. He started stumbling through an explanation about being embarrassed and not knowing how to tell me the truth, how he panicked and said it was a promotion and then couldn't take it back. I asked if treating me like a servant was better than being honest. He started crying hard, saying he felt like a failure and couldn't handle me knowing. He said if he acted important at home, maybe he'd feel less pathetic about work. I told him he made a mistake at his job, then made our lives hell to cover it up. I said I didn't know if I could trust him anymore, and he needed to fix this because I was done being treated like the help. He packed a bag and left for his brother's place. Iris keeps asking where daddy is.